Today in New York City, the air quality is taking a hit as wildfire smoke rolls in from Canada.
Hey, staying cool and, trying not to breathe too deep today.
And I'm Leah, keeping it real and keeping an eye on what matters around the city. Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day, with Leah and Garrett, right here in New York City. First up, New York City faces deteriorating air quality due to Canadian wildfire smoke, and residents are urged to wear masks. Here's what we know. Smoke drifting down from wildfires in Canada is pushing our air quality index into the unhealthy range. Quick definition. The Air Quality Index, or AQI, is that color-coded scale you see from green to maroon. It turns orange, red, or worse when pollution spikes. The city started distributing free KN95 masks at libraries and train stations on July 14th. Those are the snug-fitting masks that filter out tiny particles. Sensitive groups, like children, older adults, pregnant people, and anyone with heart or lung conditions, are at higher risk. We're also dealing with extreme heat, temperatures near 100 degrees, and a heat advisory in effect until 9 p.m. on July 15th. The National Weather Service says if the smoke sinks closer to the surface, air quality can deteriorate further. Officials are advising people at risk to stay indoors and use air conditioning if you can. Big picture, climate change is stacking the deck, giving us heat and bad air at the same time. That combo is tough on the body.
Yeah, that hits different. I'm glad the city is being proactive with mask distribution and opening cooling centers. Those are public spaces with AC where you can cool down safely. And here's a curveball. Air quality can get worse even when the sky looks clear. State officials say the smoke particles can hang around invisibly and still do damage. Why is that, exactly?
Tiny particles called fine particulate matter are the issue. They're so small you can't see them, but they slip deep into your lungs and irritate your airways. So even if you don't see haze, it doesn't mean you're in the clear.
All right, let's roll on. New York City struggles as the $6 billion power line from Canada remains offline amid the heat wave. This is the Champlain-Hudson Power Express, often called CHPE. It's a 339-mile transmission line designed to bring hydroelectric power into the city. Hydro-Quebec, the government-owned power utility in Canada, supplies that energy. The line can deliver about 1.25 gigawatts. That's enough electricity for roughly 1 million households. But here's the snag. There's a fault in a terrestrial, land-based cable on the U.S. side, so it's been offline more than 10 days, and likely for the rest of July. Con Edison, our local utility known as Con Ed, is managing demand. Still, the cushion is slim. Earlier this year, the New York Independent System Operator, the group that runs the state's power grid, warned summer reserves would be tight. Governor Kathy Hochul says her team is monitoring and wants reliable operation, especially because this project is central to the city's clean energy goals. Insight here. The outage exposes how vulnerable the system is during peak heat. And a surprising twist, this is the second failure in a month, and much of June was a bust too because of a contract issue. In July, it reportedly only ran about 3 days.
That's a lot riding on a single line. I get the vision, cleaner power, long-term contracts, all that. But in a week like this, energy security is front and center. It's a balancing act between building the renewable future and making sure the lights and the AC stay on today. Not gonna lie, that tension is real. Okay, let's move on. New Jersey workers endure heat without protections as a crucial bill stalls. Here's the situation. New Jersey doesn't have specific workplace heat regulations. State Senator Joe Cryan, an elected lawmaker in New Jersey, introduced a bill in late 2023 that would set basic safeguards like access to cold water, mandatory rest breaks, and limiting shifts when temperatures spike. Business groups are pushing back, saying new rules would be a burden, so the bill has lagged in the legislature. Meanwhile, federal guidance exists, but it's not enforceable like a regulation. Think suggestions versus rules. The stakes are high. Between 2011 and 2021, at least 436 workers in the U.S. died from heat-related illnesses. And in early July 2026, New Jersey saw at least 29 heat-related deaths. Insight: This is that broader tug of war between economic concerns and worker safety in climate policy. Surprising and tough to hear. Despite clear risks, New Jersey still has no specific heat protections in place.
Yeah, that's something to chew on, huh? The numbers are rough, and honestly, the slow pace is hard to justify when heat is this intense. Why is it stalling? It sounds like the pushback from business groups over added requirements is a big reason. Still, when lives are on the line, I'm all for clear, enforceable rules, so workers aren't forced to tough it out in dangerous conditions. Let's switch it up. New York City debates the fate of iconic carriage horses amid safety concerns. At City Hall, a marathon hearing dug into a proposed bill to phase out horse-drawn carriages by June 2028. It's called Romance Law, named for Romansh Mahajan, an 18-year-old tourist from India who tragically died after a carriage accident in June. The bill would wind down the industry and fund a workforce development program to train and move drivers into other jobs. City Council Speaker Julie Menon has voiced support. Insight: this debate is where animal rights, safety, tourism, and paychecks all meet. And a surprising note, the carriage industry is backed by TW Local 100, the transit workers union local that also represents subway and bus workers. The outcome is still up in the air.
There's a lot of heart in this one. The carriages are part of the city's image for many people, but safety and animal welfare are not small things. The workforce piece stands out to me. Training is great, but I want to know, training into what exactly, and will it pay comparably? That's close to the heart of it, how you support people through a big change. Before we wrap, quick recap on New Jersey's stalled heat protections. Short version: New Jersey still has no specific enforceable state rules on workplace heat. The proposed bill, modeled after standards in California, Washington, and Oregon, would set basics like shade, water, rest, and schedule adjustments, but it's stuck amid opposition from business groups. Insight: the urgency is real. Climate change is making these extremes more frequent, and policy needs to catch up.
Yeah, let's not let this one slide by. If other states can set clear rules and keep folks safe, we can figure it out regionally too. I get concerns about costs, but the cost of a heat stroke or a life lost is way higher. That's a solid point to end on. So there we have it, folks. Stay cool, stay safe, and keep an eye on that air quality.
This was Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett in New York City. We'll be back tomorrow. Take good care out there.